Welcome back to Inspire DI, tips and strategies to help you be the best team manager. Today we are talking about the team challenge performance at tournament. Here's some great tips for your team so you can help them prepare for what to expect at the team challenge. So first off, please arrive early at your performance location so that your team has time to put together any of those last-minute items and to have time just to take a breath and prepare themselves for their performance. Arriving early will allow your team to have time to make sure that they don't feel rushed. Leave your team plenty of time to arrive at the tournament location, put together all of their props, get their costumes on properly, and be able to take a deep breath. Talking about costumes. Parents, friends, family members are not allowed to help with costumes. You are not allowed to help put them on. You're not allowed to help apply makeup. And this is a tough one. You're not allowed to help do their hair. It is considered interference if you are doing their hair or doing their makeup. That is part of their character. It's part of their performance. It's part of their story. Only team members may contribute to the solution, and that includes costumes. That includes tying costumes, zipping up costumes. It includes straightening a costume, straightening a hat. These are all parts of their performance, and those are things that their team needs to identify. So once your team has their costumes all ready, they go into the prep area. Prep is where the prep appraiser will come and look at the paperwork that your team turned in and ask them questions to make sure that the appraisers know exactly what your team wants to be scored on. When your team is in the prep area and the prep appraiser comes to speak with them, that's a great time to tell the parents to go find a seat to watch the performance. You don't want parents mulling around while the children are trying to answer questions to the prep appraisers. You also don't want any parents chiming in. It might be hard for the team manager to not chime in. So remember, team manager, during the time when the prep appraiser is speaking to your team, the prep appraiser does not want to hear from you, the team manager. The prep appraiser wants to only hear from the students. The prep appraiser will remind you of this if you are stepping in and trying to answer the questions for your team. After you're done in the prep area, hopefully all of the parents and spectators are sitting in their seats and ready to watch the performance. Once you're done in the prep area, team manager and team are allowed to move all of the props and anything else for the performance into the launch area. The launch area will be very, very close to where the children will be performing. Really just a few feet sometimes. So the launch area will be in the performance space, but usually behind a taped line. All the prompts manager is allowed to help bring all of the props to the launch line. Once all of the props are at the launch line and the team is ready, the team manager can go take a seat to watch the performance. This is where your job is done. You've done all that you can, and now it's time for you to sit and watch. Every challenge has an allotted amount of time that the children have for their performance. This includes the time it takes them to set up all of their props and scenery and anything else they have from the launch line into the performance space. So let me repeat that. Time starts when all of the props and the team are behind the launch line. The appraiser will say begin, and that starts the time. The time begins, and that's when the children then move all of their props into the performance space and perform. They do not have extra time to set up their props. As soon as the team completes their performance, they can say whatever they would like to end the time. It's very common in DI to hear a team say time when they are done with their performance. Many times the team will come up with a funny little line like, I would tell you that, but we're out of time, and the whole team yells time, and it's a cute way to end the story. There's often times when the kids don't end the story. They can say the end, or they can say ta-da, or however else they want to indicate that their performance is complete. But you will see a lot of teams saying time when they are finished. If your team hits the 8-minute mark, or however much time your team challenge allows, they will be stopped. They will not be allowed to perform anything else. They will not be able to show anything else in their performance. So if your team did not get the opportunity to show a main technical element in their performance, that element will not be scored. So let me repeat that. You must be sure that within the allotted time, your team presents every scored element. If they run out of time and they didn't get an opportunity to show an element in their performance, that element will not be scored. So it's really important that you practice a few times before you go to tournament and make sure that you are within that allotted time. As soon as the team ends their performance and says time, the appraisers will come right into the performance area to ask them questions. You as a team manager need to stay seated. This is not time for the team manager to come up. The appraisers, again, at this point, do not want to hear from the team manager. They really want to hear from the students. When the appraisers come and speak to the students after the performance is this great opportunity that the kids have to explain all of the work that they did, to explain how items work, to explain how they came up with certain ideas, and to answer the questions that the appraisers might have. So an appraiser will come up and ask children questions about certain elements in their performance. If an appraiser asks a child about a certain element and that child wasn't the one who created it or built that element, you should prepare your team members to say, oh, Johnny built that. Johnny, come over here and explain the moving light or whatever the item is. Prepare the children that they don't have to answer a question that they don't know the answer to. The appraisers know that every single child didn't create every item that is in their performance. And they also know that that's not how a team works. So if one child worked on an element and the appraisers are asking another child about that element, they can say, oh, Mary built that or Johnny built that. And Mary or Johnny can explain that element to the appraisers. This is also a good thing to practice with your students before tournament day. Ask them, can you tell me a little bit about your first team choice element? Can you tell me who built this technical element? Make sure your team is prepared for answering these questions. I know it can be really hard to answer questions to strangers, and the younger they are, the harder this is. Remember, these appraisers are here to try to find as many points as possible to award to your kids. They are not here to judge the children, and they are especially not here to take points away. They want to find all of the points to award to your children. And one great opportunity for that is this little interview time at the end of the presentation. When you arrive at tournament, people working at the tournament will have funny hats on. This is because they want to make a mood light for the children. They don't want the children to feel intimidated because there are all these adults wanting to talk to them and they have to perform in front of strangers. Everyone wears the fun hats in DI because that brings part of the culture and the experience for the children and hopefully making it a lighter time so the kids can really show what they've created and express themselves without feeling as nervous. But even with the funny hats and the nice people asking them questions, it can still be nerve-wracking to have an adult asking you questions. So try to practice a few times with your kids, just asking them questions and asking them to explain the item that is being scored. Having them explain it at least one time out loud will really help them for that performance day. Now, after the appraisers are all done asking your kids questions, parents and the team manager can come and help the children move all of the props and the performance items away from the presentation area so that the area is ready for the next team. The best thing we can do as a team manager prior to tournament is to let the children know what is going to happen at tournament. Even if you don't have time to practice, make sure you tell them, as soon as your presentation is over, wait right there. The appraisers are going to ask you some questions about the items that are being scored. As long as your children know that this is something that's going to happen, it can really ease a lot of their worries. I hope this episode helped in preparing your team for what to expect on tournament day. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe or leave a comment. If you would like to contact me directly for any specific questions, I'm always available at coachkatedi@gmail.com. I hope this was a helpful episode, and good luck at tournament.